All right, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. This is video number 2 in a series of 5 videos on how to research corporations, focusing specifically on looking at corporate 10K reports and annual reports. As mentioned in video number 1 of this series, this particular video is going to focus on looking at Amazon, and we're going to look at their 10K report. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Here we are on Google. Let's type in Amazon Investor Relations, okay? Now, the Investor Relations page is something to know about in and of itself, okay? As you can see, there's a lot of information here already. Lots of stuff here on the left. And as the name suggests, Investor Relations, this website is geared towards investors. This website is geared towards potential investors and the media. Okay, usually it's not workers reading this. That's why I enjoy doing these videos, because it's usually not workers reading this. You're not encouraged to read this sort of thing. But there's a lot of very useful information, as you can see. We've already discussed what the annual report is. Here you can also find the proxy statement, which we'll do another video specifically on that. Shareholder letters, quarterly results. That usually tells you corporate profits per every 3 months. Then we have SEC filings, SEC standing for Security and Exchange Commission filings, press releases. If you want to stay, well informed, I would recommend you subscribing to any email listservs or anything like that, so you get press releases and stay ahead of the game. Frequently asked questions, information on officer and directors, on corporate governance, contact information, upcoming events, stuff like that. Also information on the shares or the value of the shares. So there's a lot of information here. But let's stay focused. This video is about the 10K reports and the annual reports. So let's check out the 10K report. Again, because the 10K report is filed with the Security and Exchange Commission, we're gonna go ahead and click on Security and Exchange Commission filings. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, it brings us to this page, and we could either, search on this through this list of documents over here, or we could go to this drop-down menu. I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple, go to this drop-down menu, because I know what I want. I want the 10K report for 2022. Now you can see over here on the right, it says filing year. It's already been highlighted for us, 2022, and the group is the other option. So annual filings, and because this is an annual filing with the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, the only thing that's going to pop up is the 10K report. So let's go ahead and click and view it as a PDF. And here we are. Just as I mentioned in the previous video, it's kind of boring looking. But here it is, the Amazon Form 10K, okay? Now here we drop, and the first thing that we see is the table of contents. And one of the things that I always like to check out is the business section of the table of contents, or the business section of the 10K report. And here we are, went ahead and clicked on that. I like checking this out because it contains information, as you can see, about consumers, about sellers, though not much information there, but also advertisers and competition, intellectual property, human capital, in other words, workers. Over here, right off the bat, our employees are critical to our mission of being Earth's most customer-centric company. Good Lord, that is dystopian. As of December 31st, 2021, we employed approximately 1.6 million full-time and part-time employees. Okay, so obviously there's more information on workers in that section. Scroll down a little more, you start to get information on executive officers and directors. Here are their names, here's their ages, and their positions within the company. Also here you get a little background, where they came from, any other CEO positions they may have had, any other corporations they may have been CEOs for. And those are also worth noting, because it's worth researching each one of these people in depth, to see if they've fucked up other companies or, been involved in any kind of scandals. I always like to see what kind of political contributions they've made, political contributions to candidates, to campaigns, stuff like that. And they usually do it through the corporate PACs, which will be the subject of another video. All right, but we're going to keep going here a little further. Here they also have information about the board of directors. So again, the name, the age, the positions, and same deal. You want to take note of their names. You want to look them up a little bit, see where they came from, what their history is, And then here we come to a section called risk factors, which I always appreciate anything related to risk and try to make a point to read anything related to risks. Because if it's a risk for the company, that means it could potentially cost them profits. And if it's a risk that can be carried out or executed or somehow imposed, used, I should say, by the workers, then that's a tactic that we should consider. So it's always worth reading the risks section here. I would say in any 10K, it's worth reading at least, the first 5 to 10 pages. I know in my previous video I said not to read this like a book, and we're not. The first 5 or 10 pages are a good general overview of the company, of the corporation, what it does, how it functions, what its business strategy is, and information like that. The second part I wanted to check out on the Amazon 10K report. And again, folks, I'm going to remind you, this information, this isn't just Amazon. You find this 10K report for any publicly traded corporation. Just using Amazon as an example here, all right? The second bit of information I wanted to check out was here, right down here, item 8, financial statements and supplementary data. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on that. Brings us to a blank page, so we need to scroll down a little bit. In my first video on how to research profits and revenues, I made reference to the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, and the income statement being the 3 documents that are essentially the pillar of financial analysis. And so here are those same documents. They're displayed a little differently from the first video. It's the consolidated statements. So it looks a little different, but it presents the same information, at least some of the same basic information that we're looking for. So I want to look up profits. And as I had mentioned in my previous video, you can find that information on the income statement here called the Consolidated Statements of Comprehensive Income. So let's go ahead and click there. Okay, another blank page. We have to scroll down a little bit. And here we are, the consolidated statements of comprehensive income. Okay, and at the very top, you see net income. And if you saw my first video, you know that net income means profits, right? It's financial ease for profits. It's just a fancy way of saying profits. Net income is profits. That's all you need to know right now, okay? And what we're being shown here is profits for 2019, 2020, and 2021. And we're being shown profit in the millions. So you have to take this number and you have to add 6 zeros to the right of it to give it its proper value. Okay, so in this case, we're looking at profits for 2019. Those were 11.5, really $11.6 billion. Billion with a B. Okay, then in 2020, we had $21.3 billion. And then in 2021, we have $33.3 billion. Okay, now this is already valuable information, and I had made reference to wanting to find information with which to create agitational propaganda, and well, there it is. There it is. I mean, from 2019 to 2021, Amazon tripled its profits. It literally tripled its profits. And how is that possible? That was done possible through the exploitation of its workforce, through workers not being able to take bathroom breaks, through workers having to live with unfair wages so low that they have to go on food stamps. This is a result of constant surveillance and harassment by supervisors on the shop floor. That's what got those billions of dollars. So there's the injustice. Here are the numbers to back some of it up. And that's the type of information that we can and should use in our agitprop. Okay, so this is the first video where we actually delve into one of these corporations. And so far we've just dipped our toes into this. And so let's keep on going. The next corporation we're going to check out is UPS.